What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is our Watcher of Realms video and this is a legend tier list that is Awaken 0, okay? So don't come in and go, what the is that? It's Awaken 0, alright? So things change a lot and drastically and fast when we go to A1 or A3 or A5. Those tier lists will come. Give us some time. Give us some time. For now, we'll go for A0. General use of these heroes, okay? We're not talking about set thing. You could say about Shamir, well, he's good in faction troll. Yeah, so is many others in his faction good at faction troll. But general outlook of content, he's just trash, okay? So this is how we're going to look at it. This is how we're going to look at it. General outlook, campaign, gear raids, that kind of thing. We're not going to go hugely in depth. And I am on my own today. No Entei with me today. So for those of you saying about know your names, I do know my names. I did my homework. Did my homework. Okay, so once again, it is Awaken 0. Awaken 0. I don't want anyone going, yeah, but no. Awaken 0. Again, it changes drastically at A1, A3, and they need multiple tier lists. They just need multiple tier lists, and we will cover it. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this tier list. Let's have a little chat about the heroes in it. Croc in D tier. He's just trash. He's just his range, his the way he attacks. It's just he's no good. He's no good. He's costly as well. He's costly. Shamir, again, we did just talk about Shamir. Only useful for faction trial, you say, right? Well, then why would we rate him anywhere else where these heroes are good in a lot of other content? C tier, we have Zealous. Now, Zealous is just, ooh, so costly. And don't get me wrong, if you don't have any other kind of AoE as a mage, he can be useful. But he's not ideal, and that's why he's sitting here in C. He's not ideal. Yes, he can do damage. But would you really want to build him compared to what we have above? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't at all. Azhor, I need to be careful how I say that because I kind of pronounced it different last time. He comes in and sits at C. Yeah, I know you're looking at. I know you're all looking at the tiger right now. But Azhor, he isn't quite boom. Like that may change with Awakens. I'm not quite sure. But he sits in at C. He sits in at C. The same as Sadie. Yes, this is tough because Sadie is huge in Gear Raid 2 for that physical damage reduction, but she's not like her healing isn't massive, so she can't really. I would rather use an epic over Sadie in many instances. I would rather use Vortex over Sadie. Unless we need that physical damage reduction taken. So that's why she's sitting in at C. Ezrin is another legend healer, but he is going to sit in at C. And I'm not going to talk a lot about Ezrin in this video. Yes, he will still be useful for your account if you don't have another healer. I'm not saying he's completely, I was going to say crap. I mean, he is in C. But, you know, again, he is still useful in certain places. However, there's just much better options. And I would rather use the likes of Vortex, Hollow, maybe even Light, I don't know. Yeah, but he's sitting in at C. B tier. So things start to improve a little bit now. Then a bit more of a wider use. Nyx. Now Nyx is yeah, she can deal good damage, but the thing with Nyx is she's not easy to use. Because she always targets the furthest hero away, or the furthest enemy away, I'd rather say. So on that, she's not the easiest hero to use. Yes, she can deal good damage, but when we're setting up our formations, things can get a little bit messy when we're using Nyx. And there's just better marksmen out there. Now, Volker, your free storyline hero, can be very useful, mostly against bosses, though. She does do some nice debuffs against the bosses. So she'll help against guild boss, she'll help against bosses and other content. And she can also hold her lane as a fighter in like, say, general content too. She gets lifesteal. She can hit multiple enemies. And she is strong. She's free as well. So don't think, oh, she's not going to be useful. She will be useful. But Yeah, I mean, would I build her before any of these? I don't know. I don't know, and that's tough. That's tough. Valkyrie early on will push your account on hugely. She's very good in the majority of content. Campaign, she'll smash through it. But it's a tough one. And the tier lists are hard to make, okay? Tier lists are hard to make because you've always got people who are going to say things. And without Awakens, again, she sits in at B. She sits in at B. That's, you know, she's still costly. She's still costly to use. And would you choose using her compared to anyone else above her? I don't think you would. I don't think you would. I wouldn't. And I don't think you would either. I don't think you would either. But she is still a good hero. These heroes here are all still okay. Don't think that, you know, oh my god, this is awful. They're not that bad. Okay? They're still useful. They're still useful in certain content. Apsan. Now, where do I begin with this dude? This friggin' centaur. Early on, he's not going to do much for you. Awaken Zero. But he's very gear dependent. He's very, very, very gear dependent. It's nice when he pierces through enemies with his spear. That is nice. But again, it's just so gear dependent. And this is the issue as well with DPS. You really need them with really strong gear to see their potential. He is a fighter as well. He sits in at B. He sits in at B. That's where he sits. I would like to see him better. I would like to see all of these better. I would love to put everyone in an S tier or God tier, but you just can't do that. Just can't do that. A tier. Things start to improve, and I know what a lot of you are waiting for in this video, being like, what the F is this? However, Regulus, the tiger, is actually a very good tank. He is a very good tank. And, you know, he's also huge in Gear Raid 2. He's also huge in Gear Raid 2. He can hold down a lane. He's used against, you know, you can use him against a lot of the bosses in campaign as well, especially Calypso when she comes in. Plop him down as your final hero put in there, and he'll soak that damage up nicely. He'll soak it up nicely. Regulus, you know, he is a great tank, especially a lot better than Azor. And again, this is an Awakened Zero tier list. Awakened Zero, okay? Things change. So yeah, he deserves to sit in at A with this. Salazar. Now, I know you're like, what? Everyone's been raving about Salazar. Yeah, okay, Salazar is great with Awakens. But without it, not quite so. I'm sorry. You can comment in below and call me an idiot for it, but are you using an Awakened 0 Salazar, or are you using an Awakened 1, 3, or 5 Salazar? And that's the difference. I'm not saying he'll shoot right up. He'll shoot right up at A5, no problem. But at A0, he sits in at A tier. He is, you know, he's still going to be dealing damage. He's still a very, very good hero, as are all of these in A tier. I mean, look, we have Ajax in here as well, who we'll get to in a moment. But yeah, Salazar, I know you get Wrath. As a Lord, who will boost him up as well. You still need other faction heroes to boost it up as well. But, you know, we need to build him differently. As he gets awakened, he gets much stronger. All right? So rant away about this one if you must. But try and trust me a little bit. Just a little bit. Because when you see the next Awakens coming on the tier lists, you understand why he was put there. Calypso, a marksman. Very strong, okay? She takes a little bit of time to build up her damage, however. And she is, you know, she is a bit costly as well. She is strong. Don't think that because she's an A, like, you know, she has Salazar next to her, Regulus, Nocturne, Comet, and Ajax. She is still very good. But the cost is just a little bit too much. It's just a little bit too much. And at A0, she is a hero who really does benefit massively from Awakens. Nocturne, the biggest single target mage damage dealer in the game. Great for bosses, great for guild boss. However, general content purposes, you know how much AoE is needed. And for that reason alone, at Awaken 0, Nocturne is going to be sitting in at A. Karma, okay, an AoE mage, and he is a solid AoE mage. He is a solid AoE mage, but again, at A0, Karma is, I think he's 19 cost. He does do good damage, he does do good AoE damage, but he's not as good as his, you know, the Viana who's just coming. I can't put him next to Viana. I can't. I just can't. How could I? How could I? How could I put these two next to each other? I can't. I can't. Karma is going to sit in at A. He's still a very good AoE mage damage dealer. He's still a very good AoE mage damage dealer. Don't think that he's bad. He's not. He's still A. This is still a high ranking, okay? He's right next to Ajax, who is a huge cost. He's a huge cost. He has a huge range. He has a huge range. And he also has a lot of other good factors going for him. Also benefits from any Lord's skill as well. So that's another great feature for Ajax. Massive in Gear Raid 1. We all know it. We all know Ajax looks amazing. He looks the part. But at A0, he is sitting in at A right now. I feel like I'm going to get burnt for this as well, this ranking. I feel like I'm going to, you know, but where else do you use him in the game? Like, you shouldn't be using him against Guild Boss. He's an AoE damage dealer. Very good at it. Costs so much, though. Costs so much. So he's sitting in at A tier. S tier heroes. Things start getting juicy now, don't they? A0, remember, again, Awakened 0. This will change a lot. This whole tier, this will change a lot with Awakened 1s and 3s. Silas, new hero. Super cheap to use. 12 cost. 12 cost. Doesn't really need his Awakens to be so strong. He can do a ton of damage. Ton of damage. He has a good range as well. I would say on Silas right now, if you had Arica with him, he's just fantastic. So, you know, these two paired together as well, Viana and Silas, are very strong. But he does sit in at S at Awaken 0, so cheap to use. Straight off the bat, instant damage. He's going to nuke down your opponent. So enjoy Silas. Viana. Where do we begin with Viana? Huge AoE damage. 20 cost, which is cheap for a hero of this ability. This is Awaken 0. She gets much stronger with her Awakens as well. If you pulled Viana in this banner, congratulations. She is awesome. She really is awesome. Deals huge damage. Huge damage. So Viana does sit in an S here, and she's going to be a huge hero in the... Well, she is a huge hero in the game. Very, very hard to replace from your team. Setram has a huge range. Huge range. Also, not only does it have huge range, it can nuke down certain enemies on the map. Against the boss, you trigger his ultimate and he's going to deal a ton of damage in that short period of time as well. Setram is a great hero, especially early on, mid-game as well. He will do a ton of that. He will carry you through a lot of content. Definitely deserves that S tier ranking for Awakened 0. So enjoy Setram as well. He is a great hero. Zilla massive damage. But there is... I would have loved to put Zilla 2 in a god. Okay, I would have. But she needs a lord to enable that ability. If you have the likes of Twin Fiend or Pyros, she's here. Okay, she is here. If you don't, and she's at Awaken 0, she's going to sit here. She can do massive damage for your team. These heroes here are all fantastic, okay? They're all great. You know, you can't really go wrong with them. You can't go wrong with them. So, Zilla 2 is sitting in at S. Abomination, the fused hero. He is huge. You want to build him on attack speed. He will hit so fast. He also has a nice range. He has 2 tiles in front of him. He can hold down a lane. He has a huge HP pool as well. So you can put him on health build and attack speed. You don't necessarily need to go for the damage. As long as he's attacking a lot, he's going to be dealing good damage. And he'll be holding down a lane for you as well. Definitely at Awaken 0, Abomination is solid for your account. Now we're going into God tier. Eloin. These AoE heals. And that friggin' little sprite that she has, I'm telling you now. She is a god tier healer. She is so good. So good. You know, even without her little sprite, she's a very good healer. But when you place that little sprite down, trust me, the healing is crazy. She definitely deserves God tier. She is so good as a support hero, as a healer for your team. Gear A to yeah, anywhere. And the thing is, you can place that little sprite anywhere you want. And it's like having 2 friggin' healers in one. She is, honestly, if we could put a broken tier in this, she would be nearly broken. Hatsa. Anyone who has Hatsa and you haven't maxed her out and you haven't made her your main DPS, stop right now and do it. She is fantastic. She does so much damage. She's great in pretty much everywhere. Everywhere in the game, she is good. AoE, single target. She does burst damage. And the damage that she does in AoE is so rapid and fast. She can clear out the majority of enemies in a blink of an eye. In a blink of an eye. Hatsa is a god tier hero, and she is awesome. I wish I had a Hatsa. Trust me, I wish I had a Hatsa on my account. I can't wait for the banner for Hatsa because she is just friggin' awesome. She looks great as well. Lord heroes are in a bracket of their own. They're in a bracket of their own purely because it's very hard to rate these Lord heroes. If you have any Legend Lord hero, the base stat increase for any other hero in their faction, or you know, for any legends or any epics, they just get a huge base stat increase. So on that note alone, they're all great. They're all great. Literally, they're all great. Venomer, however, doesn't have quite as much use as the rest of them, but because of her Lord skill, she is fantastic. So King Haas, again, he's a huge tank. He's just a great tank, but it's not only that, it's his Lord skill as well. And this is the thing with the Lords, they're very hard to... Not only do they give a faction bonus, they all do a very good job. They all do a very good job. Other than, yeah, okay, Venomer, questionable at the moment. But I'm sure something will happen to Venomer. And this is at Awaken 0, don't forget. This is at Awaken 0. She's the most lackluster of the Legend Lords, in my opinion. King Haas is great. Morrigan, an amazing AoE damage dealer. Also with the Lord skill. She's a brilliant Legend Lord. So if you have her, great. Torador, the bull. He is awesome. He's so friggin' tanky. His Lord skill is amazing for other heroes in his faction. With that attack speed boost. Salazar loves it. Deimos loves it. Abomination loves it. He is literally a great legend pool as well. Leia, again, she is another great legend. And the rest, all of these are very good. Alright, so if you have them, be happy. You're very lucky. A lot of people I would say kill to have a Legend Lord, but I don't think we'll go that far. Twin Fiend, massive damage. His Legend Lord skill gives you a 20% chance, a crit chance. Like, what? Like, that's huge. Mid-game, you're going to be so thankful for having that crit chance boost on your team. It means that you can easily obtain the crit rate you need. He deals great damage as well, so he is a fantastic hero. Boosts your damage insanely. Arika, she's a marksman Legend Lord. She increases the range of all of your other marksmen. She is great as well. She is a little bit gear dependent, but you know, she's a solid Lord. And like I said, all of these Lords are great, even without, if you're not using them, just throw them on your team. Take the stat increase. Take the skill bonus you get as well. That is it for this tier list. The next ones will get more complicated as we start talking about Awakens. For now, we're just talking about skills. Let me know what you think about this tier list. Do you agree with it? Are you mad that Salazar and Calypso are in A? Are you mad that Karma and Ajax is there? I don't expect everyone to agree. I don't. This is purely here to help you, guide you in a way. Another thing, just quickly to add. Certain heroes in this list can move up and down if we have, say, another hero. For instance, we spoke about Salazar earlier. If you have I don't think we spoke about Salazar actually. Who was it we spoke about? Alright, whatever. I'll just use Apsan as an instance. Apsan, I would move up to A here if I had Arika because of the range increase on the tiles. That, you know, little things like that. Salazar with Torador. If you had Abomination as well, the attack speed is increased, so maybe potentially he could be moved. So you need to be careful, okay? This is a base guide of what each hero is going to do for your account. It's not about pairing up these heroes, because we can all say, yeah, but he does this with this. Okay, that's completely different kind of a situation we're talking about here. We're talking about each one, what they're going to do for your account and how much viability they're going to bring to it, if they're on their own. If they're on their own, we can throw in epics of these heroes. That is it for this first Legend Awakened Zero tier list. You can expect to see an Awakened 1, an Awakened 3, and Awakened 5 in the near future. Hopefully you like this content. I hope you enjoy it. We did put a bit of time into this. Ante did help me with this, by the way. He's just not in on this. He said I needed to do this one on my own. So here I am on my own, on my lonesome, suffering for your enjoyment. So make sure you click like, subscribe, and comment below to help this channel grow. I haven't said that phrase in such a long time. So all of you have a fantastic day, even wherever you are. Take care. Goodbye.